Hi, I'm Dr. Teagan.
And I'm Dr. Belinda from the Pet Circle Vet Squad.
And we're here to answer the most searched questions online for a new puppy.
New puppy, crying at night.
Yeah, so if your puppy is crying at night, try not to respond straight away or every time they're crying, because what you don't want to do is reinforce that behaviour so that they realise, hey, every time I cry, mum or dad comes and gives me a cuddle or maybe a treat.
Absolutely.
Think about crate training. It's a good time to start. So essentially when you're crate training a puppy, you're giving this sort of safe, comfortable environment for them to, retreat to and feel secure.
You just set up like a really nice bed in there. You can put water in there. The great thing is it gives them, it's similar to like a den. Historically, this is where dogs came from, so they feel really safe and secure in a den. And it also is a really great way of making sure that your puppy is safe and not going to hurt themselves or anything when you're not monitoring them.
Yeah, it's a good idea to have a bit of a routine before bedtime too. So make sure they've had something to eat, you've taken them out to the toilet, have a little play or maybe go for a walk too, just to wear them out, get them ready for rest.
And you can try things like Adaptor, which are perfect. You plug those in and it's a synthetic pheromone which helps them to feel calm, and it's so great for puppies when they first come home.
Yeah, the Adaptor collars are really good too. If you're not in a situation where you can plug in a diffuser, you can pop the collar on and that lasts for a whole month. New puppy not eating. When you bring your new puppy home, one of the most important things I would say is feed them what they're used to eating. So whether they've come from a breeder or a shelter, feed them the food that they would eat there before you start to transition them onto anything else.
So whether it's that they're on a wet food or a dry food, you want to stick to that so that it's as familiar as possible.
Also important to remember that not eating can be a sign that a puppy's feeling unwell. So, if they're going for, more than a day or so and they're just not eating anything, I'd recommend just having a check with the vet to make sure something else isn't going on.
New puppy, diarrhoea. This can often be a change of diet. So remembering that puppies have these tiny little sensitive tummies.
Even just stress can really trigger diarrhea in puppies. Sometimes it can be helpful to give them a probiotic as well during that transition period.
Yep.
And the other thing I would say is make sure the puppy's up to date with their worming. Talk to the breeder, make sure you know where they are in their worming schedule when you bring them home, and making sure you keep that up regularly.
The other thing that we see in puppies, which can be really serious, is parvovirus. So if your puppy hasn't had their full vaccinations, they can be susceptible to these and they can be really, really serious.
Good idea to try and keep them in an environment where it's easy to clean messes up. So maybe keep them in a small area, perhaps off the carpet, and really just making sure they've got plenty of water. So in some cases, the vet might even recommend like an electrolyte solution.
Yeah, using puppy pads for times when, maybe you're needing to leave your puppy at home. It just minimises the mess a lot, and they can be really, really helpful with toilet training as well.
New puppy, very quiet. It's a big adjustment. They're coming into a new environment. They're away from their litter mates. They're away from their mother. It's very normal. Just making sure that they've got everything they need and just really building up slowly. So maybe they don't necessarily want to play right away, but you might just sit closely by them and you can reward them if they do interact with you and start to sort of show a bit of confidence.
Yeah, and it's really important to just try and be really calm. What we're trying to do is trying to help them to feel settled in. So it's allowing them that opportunity for them to, not be stressed and allow their real personalities to come out.
Puppies are really in that prime socialisation period where they're learning about what's normal and what's safe in their environment. So the more positive experiences they can have with things that they might see in their day-to-day life.
And super important if you've got kids at home, or maybe you have other pets, so you might have another dog or a cat, you don't want to overwhelm them at the beginning. So give them a little bit of time to adjust before you're doing those introductions, because, it just really helps that to be a really positive experience.
Yeah, and giving them outlets for those normal puppy behaviours, so chew toys, things like that, making sure you're switching things out regularly so that you're keeping them interested and engaged and entertained. So they need to learn to play by themselves and giving them those outlets.
And every puppy's going to chew on stuff. It's just whether it's going to be stuff in your house that you don't want them to chew on, or whether you're going to supply them with, a range of toys that are different textures and feels, and it's so important to give them that outlet. Yeah. New puppy schedule. You don't have to have a schedule with a puppy, but I feel like it makes everything so much easier. So when we're talking about a schedule, we're talking about set things that you do each day at set times. And the great thing about this is it sets the expectation for your puppy. They know what to expect, but it also makes sure that you're ticking all the boxes of what you need to do with your new puppy.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a hard and fast kind of schedule. You don't have to make sure they've eaten their breakfast by exactly 7 a.m. every morning, but thinking about it more as what's the order that we do things in, the cycle that we do things in. So by doing that, you're making sure, as you said, you're hitting all those puppy needs. So making sure that you're working on their toilet training. You're also ensuring that they're having a balance of playtime and quiet time.
Yep. Yeah. And it's really reinforcing those positive behaviours. And then they get to know exactly what they need to be doing as well.
Yeah, it can really help things just run a bit smoother.
If you have any further questions about your puppy, you can connect with a Pet Circle vet online 7 days a week.